Well, we had four volunteer linemen that went on a project trip through NRECA International Foundation to the community of Sesaltul in Guatemala to provide electric service to that community there, which did not have electric service before this.
So we went down to Guatemala with ourselves, Jackson EMC, and different linemen from Walton EMC, Shoals EMC, Habersham EMC, Cobb EMC, Coweta-Fayette EMC, and GreyStone. And we were there for 17 days, and we were tasked with building 4.5 kilometers of primary, 2.5 kilometers of secondary, and brought electricity to 93 different homes, 2 schools, and 2 churches.
Really, they kind of made us feel welcome for the most part. I mean, the first day we pulled up, everybody was standing right there around us and ready to go and help us out.
The first day we got there, we all met at this little church, got together, went over our material, and then we all got in trucks and rode the line out. And we got back to the church, and we all thought, there's no way we're gonna be able to get this done in the time we're allotted. But we all got together that evening, got all of our material laid out, built all the material that could be built, and started fresh the next morning.
I was just kind of, a little skeptical about how it was gonna turn out, but man, it was amazing. Once we knew what each other knew was capable of doing, and what each person was good at doing, so that really helped out a lot.
So here at home, we got bucket trucks and we got line trucks and various battery tools, and there, there's nothing. It's all on hooks and hand tools and very physical.
We had to climb everything, drill everything out off of hooks. The stuff we use isn't the stuff they use. They have to climb the poles with ropes, where we have our hooks and belt.
For 4 days, that's how long it took us to build the primary. For 4 days, we were working off a paved road. That eased things pretty good. When it got to building the secondary and wiring the homes, navigating through walking trails basically, trying to find these homes that are tucked back behind corn or thick vegetation. It was tougher toting all the equipment and tools, material. Luckily, we had a lot of locals helping us do that.
Using the local guys really helped a lot because we have no direction, like where is the next house. They would kind of tell us, in this area there's 2 houses right here and 1 right behind it, but all you see is woods.
It was up, a bunch of steep hills going up to some mountains and through the woods. But again, having the locals there to help really made a difference.
So I'd say 99% of the huts were dirt floor. They're bamboo walls or like big palm leaves. And some of the huts had tin roofs with block walls. They slept in mainly hammocks and like a makeshift little bed.
When I was growing up as a kid, I didn't have electricity till I was 9 years old. So I kind of knew what these people was gonna feel like. And so it was very emotional for me because I was anxious to get it done so they can experience what I went through. So it was awesome.
They were all very, very friendly. We couldn't understand them. They really couldn't understand us. We had some translators, but they were always there, shoulder to shoulder, ready to work.
The most surprising thing for me was just how happy everybody was. There wasn't very many times where you saw anybody without a smile, especially the kids.
Make it hot, Petey!
The highlight of the trip was, of course, seeing the power come on.
Yeah! Woo!
Once we power out the transformers, we went to every switch and disconnect and turn it on, and then we went to the house. And like, y'all ready, y'all ready? And they all grouped together and follow us, and we turn it on, and they, oh yeah.
And you would flip the breaker on and turn the switch on, and they would look at the light, just look at it. And then immediately they would go over there and turn it off. Like they were gonna run out of power if they left it on. So they would run and turn it off, and then you're like, no, you can leave it on. You go back and turn it on, and they'd look at it for a minute, and they'd go back and cut it off.
There was a lot of joy, a lot of smiles. You could almost see it in their faces, the ideas they had of what they could do in their homes now and the things they can do with their lives moving forward, the things that it's going to make easier for them.
Once we got done with the hut project, the very next day, all the work was completed and we were just invited for the inauguration.
The inauguration that day was phenomenal. Everybody in the village came together. The kids were in their school clothes, their little white shirts, and they cheered and danced and just had a great time. It was just, you could tell it just lifted them up having power for the first time.
It was a really neat experience to see how much it meant to that community.
Well, in addition to the 4 guys that actually went on the project, we knew that the rest of our employees would want to help if given an opportunity. So our employee association was able to raise almost $7,000 to buy some items for the schools that were needed there, desks, whiteboards, things for their restrooms, and some lights and some ceiling fans, which they can now use that they have electric service.
I will never forget this opportunity and taking part in it. It was a long 17 days. It was well worth the experience. We also appreciate NRECA for putting all this on and just asking us to help.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for Jackson EMC to give me the opportunity to go, and it's something I'll remember for a lifetime.
One of the biggest things I've learned on this trip is we take too much stuff for granted. I'll never forget this experience, not in a million years.
I just feel so proud of working for a company like this.